Hello. Who are you? Doesn't matter. Welcome. You're safe with me. I'll be right here, nice and close so I can speak without alerting the others. Let me tell you about Senua. Her story has already come to an end, but now it begins anew.
What's happening? It's breathing. Dead. It's breathing. It's breathing. He knows she's getting closer. He can feel her coming closer. She's getting closer. They're watching. They're watching. They're watching. They're watching.
This is a journey deep into darkness. There will be no more stories after this one.
What is she doing? Why is she doing this? They're watching. Why doesn't she turn coming? She's doing this for him. She wants to rescue him. He's already dead. I can feel you coming.
Quiet. Oh, how rude of me. I never told you of the others. You hear them too, right? They've been around ever since the tragedy. Well, that's not quite true. Some are old, some are new, but they've changed. I think the darkness changed them, just like it changed her.
Can you see them? Over there. Why isn't she looking? Why aren't you looking?
He's in hell high.
Look, up ahead.
In hell high.
You see it too?
You promised you gave me.
Yes. It is real after all. She's finally arrived in the land of mist and fog. The place the Northmen call Hell.
Turn back. Go back. Go back. It's not safe.
Go back. Go back. Go back. Go
It's
back.
not safe.
It's them. They're here.
Can you see them?
Look around and you will see them. The drowned, the sick, the slain. Here they lie, rotting in the fields and rivers of hell. But the dead don't always lie still here. This is not a place of rest.
You can't do this. Go back. Go back.
They're going to do that to you. Can you see them? Can you see them? They're going to do that to you.
They're watching. Stop. Can you feel them watching? They're watching her. They're watching her.
You're so close to the darkness.
Go back.
Can you feel it?
What is she thinking? I can tell you. She's afraid. Wouldn't you be? You'd think she would get used to it by now after so many years. But the darkness, it just builds onto itself, growing stronger, towering over her. You might try and ignore it, turn away. But it's always there, just out of sight, where you're most vulnerable. It's like it knows that just enough light is all you need to see its suffocating power.
They can feel you.
You might think she's brave to go on this journey on her own, but it isn't bravery that drives her. bravery only means something to those afraid of death. Senua's fear runs far, far deeper. What is she looking at? What is she leaving behind? I know what she's thinking. I hear her thoughts. It's not too late to get into the boat and go back. No one will judge her. No one will ever know. Oh, she heard us. There's no going back.
You can't do it.
Senua pushes away a world that conspired to cause so much suffering. There's nothing to go back to, and worse to look forward to. Why don't you join us? Maybe you too have a part to play in this story.
Hey, welcome to Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. I'm HoneStephen. Thanks for joining me.
Look really clearly.
Focus, Senua.
Focus. Focus.
Do
and
not
you'll
forget
see.
my stories, Senua,
Focus.
because your darkness comes from hell, and your
This is
fate
the latest
lies there.
game by Ninja
They
Theory,
say the burning of a corpse will take
the
you
developer
straight
behind-
to Hell's Gate, but gods and the living will follow this path. You must leave the Isles of
Well, I
Orkney
can't remember all the
across
games they
Eastern
made,
Sea
but I do know
and
they
find a
did the
road that leads
DMC,
north
the Devil
and
May
down
Cry
through
reboot,
deep, dark valleys.
which was, you know, hit
After
or miss.
9 nights of riding, you will follow a great river and will find a bridge
This
covered
is
in gold.
similar in the sense that it is
The
an
path
action
to
game,
Helheim goes
but
from there.
the action's toned
across
way
the River of
down,
Knives
so it's
that
definitely
flows
not
from
as
the dark
fast-paced.
world of Niflheim.
It's more a story-driven experience with a heavy focus on the character Senua. One of the big points of this game is its focus on psychosis and the impact it has on a person dealing with situations. That is why you're going to be hearing all kinds of voices and conflicting thoughts and seeing strange visual effects.
Darkness is coming for you. Yearn for light,
Something at some point in Senua's history caused her to lose her mind.
like a pack of wolves on the hunt.
Some form of a curse.
She's not stopping.
And currently, she is pursuing this culture's form of hell to try and find the damned soul of her lover, Dillion.
The land of mist and fog.
I've played about 2 hours of this.
Alpha was right. What was it he said?
Before losing all the footage
Across which lies the
to
halls of
audio
hell,
desynchronization,
the place they call
audio
Hellheim.
dropout, video corruption, so on and so forth. So this time we're going to try bypassing my computer and my Elgato and just use the PlayStation 4's built-in recording. See how that goes, because it would actually be nice to get something back on my channel again.
I hear you.
He's there, you know it.
There's no doubt about
He's
it.
lost.
The source of the darkness is in Helheim, and the goddess Hela holds his soul there. Her dear beloved.
I'm gonna try to move a bit faster through this opening than I did the first time. Not that you're familiar with it, simply to save time,
Why is she doing this?
because
Why doesn't she
it's,
tell me?
while interesting, it is a very slow opening,
He's already dead.
and I'd like to get back to the actual progression of gameplay
The bridge to Helheim.
sooner rather than later.
Its name. She forgets too. But she does remember that only the
I was really excited to get some videos about Nintendo's ARMS and Splatoon 2 on my channel.
The old fool said there was a hidden
Like I said in my recent channel update post on Facebook, there's no way I can rely on my computer to handle that
The
anymore.
Northmen speak of 9 worlds.
So I'm
The world of
restricted
men
to
called
PlayStation
Midgard.
4 games for the
Sky
foreseeable
gods dwell in
future. So
Asgard.
hopefully you guys
The gods of
like
earth,
that.
harvest, wind, and sea dwell in Vanaheim. The good elves dwell in Alfheim. The evil ones dwell in Svartalfheim. The mountain giants dwell in Jotunheim. The fire giants
And
dwell in
as always,
Muspelheim. Niflheim is the
I'm
world
super
of
yawny
ice
the moment I
and
start
darkness.
recording. Wide
Only
awake.
the dead
It's freaking
dwell
1 o'clock in the
Helheim,
afternoon.
and
I
that
have
is
no
where we
reason to
must
be
travel.
tired, but the moment that little red light comes on and I have my kit going, I suddenly feel like the most sleepy person in the world, and I can't stand it. Because I'm normally a very excitable, energetic person.
That's the way.
One of the interesting things about this game, beyond the things I already listed, is its usage of binaural audio, which is a form of 2-channel stereo that is recorded with a microphone array that is analogous to the human ears. So there is
No, this is it.
a set of microphones that are placed in such a way to represent the eardrums of a human head, and each mic will pick up the recording exactly how your ears would pick up the recording. So it does a really good job of inducing spatial presence. There's been a lot of talk about how stressful and
longer that way.
hard
Bastards catch me
the binaural audio is on a player, in the sense of making them confused or uncomfortable and stuff like that. And I was really interested by that, but
Is that you?
I don't know if I'm just something's wrong or what, but I felt nothing at all playing this game. It's neat, you know, it's effective. You really do feel like someone's up against your ear whispering and stuff.
Old fool.
But it in no way hasn't made me feel scared or tense or anything.
Is my truth.
So kind of a disappointment.
It's good to see you
But
again.
main reason I bring it up is because
kept your
if
vow.
you were interested in this game, your mileage may vary.
And the next,
Now with my Elgato setup, I know that
my story.
my recordings were reproducing the binaural audio for my YouTube videos. I don't know if that's going to be the case with
Tell me your stories again.
the built-in recording. So if you can, if it works and you can benefit from it, it'll give you a really good way to test. But if it doesn't come through properly, well,
And you too will see what's hidden in plain sight.
I can see one.
Hold it in your mind's eye.
primary mechanic of this game is finding runes or sigils and aligning them with the environment in some way to unlock doors.
And the gate will open.
The gate is open. Go through the gate.
Go through it.
It's dangerous.
Based on my time with the first area and boss, the puzzles aren't crazy involved, but they are interesting and well thought out, and do mix up the gameplay enough.
You listen
I like them.
when everyone else laughed.
I wasn't sure the first couple times I passed over these narrow areas if it was possible to fall and die, and I still don't know if it is factually possible, but the game does imply that it is, so I'd rather not risk it, because, as will be explained not too much long from now, there is a mechanic in this game where every time Senua dies,
What is that?
her body and mind becomes more corrupted by the
I guess it's
darkness
the
that
same
she's
with
dealing
light.
with.
You can stand on
And
the
after
edge,
so many deaths,
pretend it's going to be okay.
the game, Senua
But you know
will
that
be
death
completely
is
gone,
near, waiting for you.
and
to
the
make
game physically
little
will
step.
wipe your progression, and you will have to start over.
You can't just wish things away.
And it is very easy to die in this
Hela,
game.
daughter of Loki.
So I'd rather not have to start
The
over,
gods
because I
feared
already
her
had to start over
bloodline,
once.
bad on her mother's side and yet much worse on her father's.
The thing with these
So,
runes,
as a child,
they're essentially
The
flavor
Allfather cast
text,
her down into Helheim,
giving some
and gave her
backstory to
power
the
over
world
those
we're
who
in
die of
and the
sickness,
characters we're
age,
going to
hardship,
deal with.
and self-slaughter.
But the red ring
In all
of
the
runes
9
around
worlds,
it
only Hela
seems
can
to indicate
resurrect the
all
dead.
of the runes on the island, and the
To
ones you
Hela,
have
your
read are
due
marked
was
off with
sacrificed,
white, and the
and
marked
with
ones
her
that
you
you've
must
missed
bargain.
or haven't reached yet are marked off in red. So that's a way of kind of knowing your completionist sense. And actually, that's why a lot more of these are white, because that's how far I got. I missed one of them. But even though I started a new game, it still technically maintains my overall progress. Which is kind of nice, I suppose. This game uses a really, really impressive motion capture face tech for the actress that they used. It was pretty heavily covered in the developer's stuff before the game released, but when you see it in action, it is impressive. The game itself looks pretty good overall on PlayStation 4, but the face is uncanny in how close to real it is.
Goddess that rules over Helheim. Whatever horrors lie behind that door, she must find him. Shh. Someone's here.
I'll try not to talk too much during the cutscenes. Generally speaking, with the subtitles, you shouldn't miss too much.
You took him from me. I beg you, let him go. I'll give you what you want. I won't resist anymore. Just give him back.
We get our first taste of combat here, and as might have been noticeable to the keen-eyed viewer, the game does not give you any on-screen prompts or tutorials or notifications of any kind whatsoever. You can go into the options and get a feel for the buttons, but beyond that, you're on your own. The combat is pretty straightforward. It's not too crazily in depth, which I like. And it's parry based. There's a focus effect that you don't have immediately. Senua is very fragile in the grand scheme of things, as a human would be, and it's extremely quick to die if you aren't patient and thoughtful with your blade. And you will find that one-on-one combat is not too bad if you pay attention, but once 2, 3, 4 enemies are around you, it becomes very intense, and you really have to micromanage what's going on.
Poor Senua. The darkness does not bargain. It does not reason. It is rot. And now it has taken hold. It will spread towards her head, the seat of the soul, until there is nothing left of her. All of her suffering will have been for nothing. It's just a matter of time.
This is the only direct information the game gives you, and even this is vague. Because it does say progress is gone, but it doesn't word it in such a way that it's very clear that your save data will be deleted.
The hardest battles are fought in the mind. That is what Dillian taught her. With every defeat, the dark rot will grow, and soon it will take her soul. But for now, at least, she still has control of her mind. And she will fulfill her vow, whatever the cost.
I'm hoping to pick up a PlayStation camera and include face cam going forward, since I'm dedicating myself to the PlayStation 4 platform for my recordings. So that should be kind of fun for people that are into that.
To open the gate, you must first face the gods that guard it. The god of fire, Surt, and the god of illusion, Valravan.
When my first run, I did the Valron door.
The land of the dead.
Just to keep things interesting, I'm gonna go through this door this time first.
Why can't she open it? She needs to challenge the gods.
She has to fight 2 gods first.
2 gods?
2 gates.
Which will she choose first? One of them will
Surt,
She's going
the
to
fire giant has answered.
Which one will she
He
challenge?
comes from a land older than mankind. And the Northmen call upon his flaming sword to raise their enemies to the ground. Find him, Senua, and spill his blood.
There isn't too much open exploration in the game. It's pretty linear,
She found the wretched old fool on her way back from the wilds.
but not too bad in my opinion.
Outcast. Was badly burnt.
I like that it keeps you focused.
She took pity on him, for he was not long for this world. Like her, who spoke of his own darkness. The Northmen.
I feel like the camera is a bit too close to Senua. It reminds me of Evil Within before they patched it. Would have liked an option to pull it back some. It's not a huge deal, but when you're in the heat of combat, you can make things a little tight. So the overall progression works like this. You'll access a new area you'll have to find some form of indicator of what the key to the gate is. Cool. Came out of nowhere.
Take him down! Take him down! Get him down!
This path seems to be more combat oriented than the other door. The other door seems more puzzling. Thankfully, you may not know when combat will start, but you will know when combat is over.
Sweet, sickly
So we need an N and a
human flesh.
Y.
And I still hear
And just like on the first area, you are looking for an environmental structure to recreate the rune.
Yes,
So,
I heard their screams,
like this.
and I still hear them now.
That's one. Now we need the tree, which clearly is going to utilize one of these things in the background. So, let's look around. There. I don't know if there are multiple options for this stuff, but there's at least one.
Path to Helheim is sealed to the living, but you already walk amongst the dead. Look towards the gate, and you will see that it has opened.
And that's how you progress. You're going to have some combat here and there. You're going to have some environmental puzzles with the runes. It seems to be the gist of it, at least early on.
When they first came to my lands, I knew enough of their
Alright,
tongue to
well,
beg
since the
for mercy.
game saved there, I'm going to call it quits for today. Let's hope that this actually works out and I can get some content up on my channel.
Fire, death, and slavery to many lands.
Like the video if you enjoyed what you saw. Leave a comment with your feedback. Let me know if you're okay with the overall visual quality
And I'm still here to fight.
and general presentation. And subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with my overall uploads and everything. I have a Facebook and Twitter you can follow too. But for the time being, I'm going to continue doing my best to bring you one of the most honest opinions you can find online, and I will talk to you guys later. See ya.